up here. And we have Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. That ball's going to drift foul, playing Team SSA. Let me get my scoreboard squared away for all of you. Leading off, Brian Koronkowski singled, and that brings up Anthony Avila. And there's a little ground ball, and it skips past Stacy at third. Greco will fire it in. Runners on the corner, nobody out here to start the ball game. I'm a little distracted, folks, so I can.
You're hit here, kid.
And that brings up Chad Hook. So, final four in the winner's bracket, high fly ball, that's going to score the first run of the game. Anthony Avila will stay at first, and the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame jumps up ahead 1-0. So coming in, looking at the rosters, I think everybody thought that the Hall of Fame team was stacked up, and so was Papa Magoo's. And pretty proud of the Buddy Bear and SSA groups, which got thrown together a little late, but they've gotten to this point, and there's a sinking line drive by Mike Manzella. So 1 run in, 1 out, first and second here. Brings up Mike Myers. So if you watch the live streams, you're going to be familiar with a lot of the players here. A lot of flashback guys, a couple of circus guys. And way on another diamond here. I'm trying to see which one. Ground ball to Fowler, to man. Throw to first, not in time. Avila will go to third base. And there's 2 outs here. And here's Scotty Erdecki now. Runners on the corner, 1 run in. And Scotty just punches it over the infield, 2-0. Hall of Fame takes an early lead in this ball game. So 2 outs, and here's Ryan Russ. So this is a ball game if you're the SSA. You know you're going to have to score runs and play defense, and there's a little 5-hopper. Greco came up throwing, and he keeps Meyer at third. Very aggressive play there by the left fielder. So he charged that all the way, hit the cutoff man. And here's Chuck Regaldo. 2 outs now, bases loaded. So sometimes you win the toss, and it's not a good thing. And Regaldo hits a line drive right at Morris Greco. So they leave him loaded. They do push a pair across. We head to the bottom of the first. 2-0. Hall of Fame leading SSA. So the final 4 teams, you got these 2. And then you got Papa Magoo's and Buddy Bear Car Wash. And Buddy Bear Car Wash got put together literally in the last 3 days, so they're grinding along, made it to the final 4. And the SSA team was put together, hi Shane, got put together a little more time. So here we go. We got Morris Greco leading off. He'll be followed by Gardner Huff, also known as Man, and then Anthony Stacy. So Timmy Korenkowski on the hill. For those of you tuning in, this is Chicago 16-inch style softball. You're seeing it correctly. There's no glove, 60-foot bases. You can lead off, but you can't steal. Pitcher gets a drag step, tough hop, but it came right up, and that's the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Man. Pitcher gets a drag step because we're playing no glove. That's one step left, right, or back. Two fakes or hesitation. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home, and Man cuts it. Ryan Russ makes the play. Throw to a fake to a base is one of your hesitations, 38 feet from the rubber to home plate, 6-12 on the arc, and they're playing 1-1 count. And there's a little ground ball, and there was timeout called. Apparently, Anthony Stacy stepped on the base plate, and that'll be the first out. So 2-0, we head to the top of the second. It's cooled off now. Wind blowing out on this diamond to right field. And we'll see if anybody tries to take advantage. Anything hit from center of the right field line going to get a boost today. And you know you got a lot of guys on your team when you got this many bats lined up along the screen. So here's Shane Lawler. You might know him from Flashback. Shane hits a little pop-up, and Eddie Gil Ramos was playing shallow, and that wind pushed it a little bit, but he got there. Shane, a little too much air under that.
Danny, with your head here.
And here is Shane's brother, Denny. And I think if you're this SSA team, you might think, man, look at all of these guys they got over there. But I think you just got to keep playing. They've been scoring runs, and that's going to be the key in the ball game. You're going to have to hit with this Hall of Fame team if you want to compete. And Denny goes the other way off of Anthony Stacy. Jack Harrigan tried to recover. I think if he makes an accurate throw, he has him, but he threw it up the line, and all Jake McTeague could do was knock it down, and here's Larry Downs. And Larry hits a ground ball. Fowler over to Man, throw to first. In time. So Paulie gets himself a double play ball. And I don't know if he's safe or out here. See, they're not using the orange safety base. Larry Downs was complaining that the first baseman was standing in front, but the problem is the throw took him there, and he's got a right to catch the ball. And again, that's why they put in the orange safety base, which they're not using today. And that'll be one of my mental notes when I talk to them next time. As I told Nicky's agent Adam, I would call him after the tournament with any thoughts I had. So here's Jack Harrigan, bottom of the second, 2-0, and Harrigan slashes a hit in front of Ryan Russ. Leadoff man on. First base runner for SSA today. Brings up Dominic Jacoby, and Dominic is such a young player. When you're a young player, excuse me, you get a chance to play in these kind of events, it really accelerates your growth a little bit. And he cuts a base hit. So first two hitters reach here for SSA. It's going to bring up Mike Trump. And Mike put this SSA team together. And if you're the SSA team, you'd like to score a few runs and get a little confidence here. And Trump delivers a base hit. They're going to just throw it in, and they do hold the runner, and not quite sure where Chuck was throwing it. I think he was throwing it to second, but he was on a dead sprint and just kind of missed him. Bases loaded now, nobody out for Eddie Gil Ramos. And there's a line drive, one hopper. Avila makes the play, does score a run, and moves two over. And that's a good piece of hitting there by Eddie Gil Ramos. That ball had a chance to sneak through, but more importantly, got one in, got one over. And it brings up Jeremy Fowler. As a manager, you tell your guys all the time, that's a productive out. And Fowler crushes one into the alley. Ryan Russ got a hand on it, but it will score two, and SSA takes their first lead of the ball game at 3-2. Still only one out here. Brings up Paulie Palkey. Huh? The Paulrus? I don't know him well enough to call him Paulrus. And he swings and he delivers a base hit, and Fowler gets into second. First and second, still only one out here, and it brings up Jake McKee. Jake is a young player, and I got to tell you, they do have Brian Koronkowski in right, and Chuck Regaldo in center. They got good speed out there. Jake's got some big pop to the alley in right center or left center. And now there's an issue at third base, and Mike Trump doing a little maintenance. Umpire going out there with some kind of a crazy looking tool. I don't know if the spike clipped off or not. So we're in a little bit of a rain delay. And this base is spinning like a top. JP, one out. So one out, Jake McTeague up. Jeremy Fowler in scoring position. And Jake goes to right, long run. Brian Koronkowski gets there. Fowler will easily get into third. Two outs now. And that's going to bring up Popcorn. So runners on the corner now with two outs. And Ryan Russ playing Popcorn kind of deep. Now he's creeping. And Popcorn goes hard down the line. Ryan Russ can't get to it. One run is in. Two runs are going to score. And Popcorn slides into second. So Popcorn cleared the bases there with a double. as he slashed one down the left field line. Ryan Russ couldn't get to it. The SSA's taking an early 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the second. And here's Morris Greco. And Morris tried to go big. That's going to be way out of play. Good friend of mine, Steve Cuss, used to always say once a guy airmailed one deep and foul like that, he used to tell the left fielder, well, now you know what he's got. So we got man on deck here. SSA's exploded for a fin here in the bottom of the second. And Greco slashes ahead. Chuck Regaldo comes up throwing. Big cut. Safe. Jake McTeague moving on the swing. Scored from second. It's now a 6-run inning. As Morris Greco delivers. And it brings up man. Long way to go in this particular ball game. And man tries to go deep. And that beat Chuck Regaldo in center. Another run's going to score. Man grinding to third. He's going to take the turn, and he'll score. 2-run bomb. Man airmailed it over to center fielder. We told you there's a slight breeze blowing out to right. Looking at the top of the trees, though, not much, little movement. I don't think that was wind-aided. I just think man leaned on it. 8-run inning here for SSA. They lead 8-2, and here's Stacy. And there's a little chopper, Mike Myers, pitch and catch. But in the inning, 8 runs, SSA takes an 8-2 lead. We head to the top of the third. Not much Hall of Fame could do there. SSA was just flipping line drives all over the place. And now they're going to bring a new base over here for third. Think they need to bring one for first. We'll see if we can get Anthony Olivo's attention. Before the game starts. I don't think they're aware that there's an issue at first.
I don't think there's no sleep.
Anthony, that base at first is spinning like a top 2.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's even more because it stays.
Yeah. So, Anthony Oliva, who works with the White Sox, played on the Smackout team. And you can see a lot of the teams sticking around and still some consolation games going. So, brand new ball game here, new leader. 8-2 here. Leading off, it's going to be Timmy Korenkowski. And it looks like they're batting 12. Then they'll be at the top with his brother Brian. And then Anthony Avila. So if you're the SSA team, you just picked up an 8 spot and took the lead. You'd like to find a way to maybe get a goose egg here. And there's a little flip down the line, and that's going to drift foul. As Timmy just trying to flip that right field line. Let the ball get in a little too deep. And ended up kind of pushing it with an inside out swing. Very difficult to keep that ball fair. And now he hits a ground ball. Jack Harrigan. And he and you can rewind the tape. You can rewind the tape.
Hey, Tim, that's a great hustle there, Tim. Great hustle, Tim.
Great play there. Great play there by the young man, Mr. McTeague. He caught the bounce. And here's Brian Korenkowski. And it looked like he did secure the ball and he was on the bag. Umpire may not have seen it that way. And there's Brian Korenkowski. And Morris Greco got in between. And a run scores. Now Brian was going to get to second either way. It was a great recovery by Morris. He got in between. The ball rolled away, but he jumped on it. Here's Anthony Oliva. And there's a little flip shot. And that gets past Gil Ramos. And that's going to be at least a triple. Another run scores. And we got an 8-4 ball game. Still nobody out. As they push the pair across here. And it brings up Chad Hook. So again, big play to start the inning off. And there's a base hit, 8-5. So like we said at the beginning of the ball game, if you're the SSA team, you know you're going to have to score some runs. And brings up Mike Manzella. And Junior Villalobos, who was on the team, had to leave. And Junior might have been in right field. And the SSA team had man out there. And they put man on the infield. And that's causing some issue as Eddie Gil Ramos not as quick as man. So they've lost a little team speed in right. So here's Manzella.
Anyway, Mike, anyway.
And Mike goes opposite field, but right at Morris Greco from his knees, long throw in. Easy tag for Chad Hook. So one out now, another runner in scoring position for Mike Myers.
Oh, Mike.
So this game is shaping up to be a high-scoring one. Mike Myers goes deep. He tries to beat Greco. He makes the play. Chad Hook and Harrigan jumps up and grabs the relay with one hand. So 2 outs, runner on third for Scotty Herdecki. Ryan Russ in the hole. And last time this top of the Hall of Fame lineup came up, they did score a pair, and now they've scored 3 and counting. So this may come down to which team gets more production from the bottom part of their lineup. And Herdecki mishits it. Right there is Dom Jacoby. So in the inning, March does come back with a 3. They trail 8-5. So leading off here for the SSA team, it's going to be Jack Harrigan, Dom Jacoby, and Mike Trump. As we got an 8-5 ball game brewing. So Jack Harrigan, this game could come down to the first team that doesn't score in an inning. And there's a little flip foul. She got way, way out in front of that pitch. Tried to sneak a fastball past him. Harrigan, good swing. But Ryan Ross, we talk all the time on the live streams, one of the best left fielders in the game, came over and made a sliding catch. And that brings up Dom Jacoby. So there's a little ground ball. Mike Myers, pitch and catch, out number 2. And here's Mike Trump now.
Here we go.
Takes that pitch for a ball.
Chad, right hand.
And there's a little spinner. That ball had some weird English on it. Caught by Chuck Regaldo, sliding underneath it. And another inning in the books, and 8-5 SSA over the Hall of Fame. So these games change in a hurry. Little controversial call at first, starting the last inning, led to 3 runs, and the game tightened up. So it's going to be Ryan Ross, Chuck Regaldo, Shane Lawler. I want to say this is the top of the 4th. Not quite halfway through. So the ball looked like a strike. The strike looked like a ball. And that pitch just too short. The dreaded leadoff walk. And realistically, if you are the SSA team and you're playing a team where you're an underdog, you don't want to give up free bases. So here's Chuck Regaldo. Home plate jumping around a little bit on Paul. And there's a swing and a pop-up. Morris Greco in a good throwing position. Here's the throw. And they called him safe. Ryan Russ chose not to slide. He did the thing where people try to lean back and stick the leg in there. Morris Greco did everything you want your outfielder to do. He circled around it, got his momentum, threw a strike, bang, bang. You can rewind the tape. So here's Shane Lawler now. 1 out runner on second. Paulie looks like a guy now after he walked that leadoff man. There's a ground ball. Harrigan looks him back. Snap throw in time for 2 outs. Brings up Denny Lawler now. So Paulie trying to work over that leadoff walk. That'll bring up Denny Lawler. I got to say, my second year with, actually, I want to say my third year with Flashback, Denny had one of the greatest last 2.5 months of a season I ever saw. Probably should have been an MVP at the No Glove that year when we won our third in a row, but
Best ball, Larry. Let's go.
people saw it different. So here's Larry Downs. And again, Paulie is not throwing a lot of strikes here. And realistically, if you're JP, you might have wanted to go out there and slow him down a little bit. And there's his second walk of the inning, and the bases are loaded. Hasn't been any damage yet. But now here's Timmy Korenkowski, who presents a bigger problem. So back-to-back walks. Hurting SSA now. And Timmy guides it up the middle, and it's going to be 8-7. So the walk's an absolute killer here. If I'm not mistaken, he's walked 3 guys, and they've all scored. And now he's got the top of the lineup, which has been wearing him out. And he walks the dog, and now we're tied. Korenkowski will stop at third, 8-8.
Come on, Anthony, your turn. Quick two out hit, Anthony.
So just this mound visit might have been a little late. So new ball game here in the top of the fourth, 8-8. And when you got a lineup, and there's a soft pop-up, man, who they did put in right field, comes in. But the walk's devastating to SSA, and we're all tied at 8. Hall of Fame's got too good of a lineup to be giving them free bases. So I believe we're in the bottom of the fourth, halfway through, nothing's been decided. SSA did go dry last inning, and they need to understand they got to continue to swing the bats. And now it'll be interesting because
The first 2 are really bad.
so we're halfway through, tied at 8. Eddie Gil Ramos, Jeremy Fowler, and then Paulie Palkey. And there's a little chopper, Chad Hook, long throw in time for out number 1.
We had to score on the last.
And what the walks do is it really drains the emotion and energy out of your team when guys are getting free passes. And then they score runs with fewer hits. So here's Fowler. And that's a spinner. Shane Waller surrounds it for out number 2.
Oh, no, I know.
So here's Paulie Palkey looking ahead to the next half inning. Paulie, little high fly ball, that's going to be handled. So SSA goes 1-2-3, and we head to the top of the 5th, 8-8. And we're going to grab a swig of water, folks. I'll be right back. So it's going to be Chad Hook, Mike Manzella, and Mike Meyer.
Oh, Chad!
I don't know, Chulo. And just looking at the SSA team, and Chad Hook goes toward the gap. Man is there for out number one. To a certain extent, you know, they look like they're not out of it mentally, but, you know, they had a little confidence, and it's kind of eked out of them a little bit. But when you're playing a team that's loaded, here's Manzella, and he goes to Stacy, pitch and catch in time for out number two. And you're tied at 8 in the top of the 5th. You got to feel pretty good about the project. Doesn't matter how the score got here. You're still right in the ball game. And here's Mike Meyer. And Meyer, Stacy makes that play. So 1, 2, 3. We head to the bottom of the 5th. And we'll see if SSA gets a little juice out of that. They certainly needed to get a goose egg after seeing that big lead evaporate. So it's going to be Jake McTeague, Popcorn, and Morris Greco, 10-11-1. Bottom of the 5th inning.
Let's go, Jake.
And there's a little flip shot, and Anthony Avila comes in and makes the play for out number one.
Okay.
So again, we'd like to thank the
Down the line last time.
people that put this tournament together, Nicky Lopez, Sage and Adam, Bobby Lopez, Chicago White Sox for having us out. Here's Popcorn. And of course, Jamie in the front office. And Popcorn lashes a base hit over Hook. So 1 out base runner, top coming up now for SSA with Morris Greco. And here's the courtesy runner, Jeremy Fowler. And Morris tries to go over Ross, and he does. Fowler's going to score. Morris Greco churning. Something happened there. No, he's okay, but he just shut it down. So he beat Ryan Russ over the top. Something happened. I think Morris stumbled or something. He's not grabbing anything, but he broke stride. And here's Mann now. 9-8, SSA jumps back out on top. And Mann slashes one. That's going to be foul. With 1 out here, if you're Mann, you must make sure you score this run. You can't leave anything on the table. Right now, you just want him to elevate and make sure he scores the run. No line drives at an infielder. Ground ball to second up the middle. He's probably going to score the run. And he's going to pop up. And again, he's trying to get a hit there. But in a game like this, you can't afford to leave runs out there. And that's just not a good at-bat. And that's so they leave what would have been the 10th run on the board. And Mann's played a lot of softball. And I'm sure he's not happy with himself. But that's not a base hit situation. He took a shot at the hit, didn't get it. Then he had to make sure. But they do push one across. 9-8. So we had top of the 6th. SSA pushing out to a 1-run lead. It's going to be Scotty Herdecki, Ryan Russ, and Chuck Regaldo. Still a lot of game to go here. If you're SSA, you're certainly not comfortable with a 1-run lead. And Herdecki guides it between short center, shortstop. And to be honest with you, Eddie Gil Ramos, a little too close to the bag there. By playing up the middle like that, can see where he plays. That's the absolute worst place you can play as a short center because you're giving up 2 holes to your right or left. And here's Ryan Russ. And there's a little fly ball. Greco will get there. Belly catch. Meyer will easily get into second with the tying run. 1 out. So what I was saying, if you're Eddie Gil Ramos, a hitter can go between you and the shortstop or you and Jeremy Fowler. So here's Chuck Regaldo now, 1 out runner on second, Shane Lawler on deck.
Okay, you're Mike. Come on, Chuck.
And there's a little ground ball, Eddie Gil Ramos pitch and catch. Again, the ground ball hit in front of Mike Myers. Good base running. You don't advance there, kids. You want to, ball's got to be to your left, not your right hand. And Mike knows with 2 outs, he's going to score anyway. And it brings up Shane Lawler, big spot here. Tying run at second. Top of the 6th here.
Come on, Shanner.
And this is a big hitter here because if you can get Shane Lawler out, you'd have the bottom 3rd of the March lineup in the 7th. And Lawler, Paulie knocks it down and they get out of the inning. And we head to the bottom of the 6th. 9-8 SSA looking for a little insurance. So looking ahead to the Hall of Fame 7th, they'll have Denny Lawler, Larry Downs, and Timmy Korenkowski. And the way the top of the lineup has been for Hall of Fame, if you're a Team SSA fan, you'd like to go 1, 2, 3 and not see the top. Bottom 6. So it's going to be Jack Harrigan, Dom Jacoby, and Mike Trump. And that's why that leaving that runner at 3rd with 1 out is so crucial. It looked like it was going to be a ridiculously high-scoring game. And Harrigan slashes 1 foul. But here's another reason why not scoring a run now. The game has changed complexion. It's really slowed down offensively. So you got to change your mindset. But we're also in a city park, and you can see all of this clover and slopes. So as an outfielder, you don't know what the ball's going to do. So if a guy hits a hard one-hopper, it could bounce over, it could bounce left or right. So when you don't score runs you should score, your margin of error goes way down. So here's Harrigan. And there's a little chopper. Korenkowski will make the play. Right now, if you're Team SSA, you should notice the pattern. when Timmy gets ahead of you, he comes back and he throws you basically what should be an illegal fastball, and they've bid on it a few times. So here's Dominic Jacoby. And he pops it up off of almost the handle. And Timmy's been getting some of these guys on that real heavy pitch. Here comes Mike Trump. And Trump, a little ground ball to Meyer, a crazy bounce. He stayed with it. We go do or die, top of the 7th for the Hall of Fame team. They trail 9-8. They need 1 to keep the game going, 2 to take the lead. Anything less, and the ball game is over. And we'll be staying right here. Not sure what's going on with the Magoo Buddy Bear game. I don't know if it's even done or not. But we'll stay right here and we'll have the championship game for you right after this. So it's going to be 10, 11, 12. Looks like a pinch hitter for Denny Lawler. Sammy Bertucci to lead off the inning. Again, they've turned the lights on. Big first hitter. Little flare, and Jeremy Fowler makes a diving catch. Laid out like a receiver in the back of the end zone. Looked like it was going to drop, and he launched himself like Superman. Spectacular play to lead off the top of the 7th. And he wasn't going to drop that when they hit the ground. He was cradling it like a newborn. Here's Larry Downs.
Put him in the infield, baby.
Chuck Regaldo might have saved some fans not paying attention down that line. 2 strikes on Downs. Larry Downs trying to get on base. And he hits a little fly ball out to man, 2 outs. So Hall of Fame down to their last out. Timmy Korenkowski's brother Brian on deck. And we will click off and start a new stream regardless of whenever this game ends for the championship. So stay tuned, folks. So here's Timmy Korenkowski.
No.
And Timmy tries to punch it. Morris Greco makes a sliding catch. 2 spectacular catches. One by Jeremy Fowler, one by Morris Greco. SSA going to the championship. They knocked the Hall of Fame out. Gutty effort. They win 9-8. Mike Trump threw this team together. Don't have the star power, but they gutted it out. On the strength of 1 big inning, they win the game 9-8. That's why we play them. That's why we play all 7. So good job by Mike Trump. 2 spectacular catches, and they hold on 9-8. We'll be back with the championship game shortly.